Good morning. Let's quickly start because today's session is going to be very long. So, and like I always say, always follow, always follow what? Always follow the trend. So if you look at this, I can clearly see that it is on an uptrend. It is clearly on an uptrend. And after it broke structure, yeah, it came back for this area. Now you might not really see it very clearly, but if you go to your lower time frame, you clearly see that it came back for the breaker block. And that is the current, that's the current play at the moment. So after breaking out, why is this thing slow? So you probably have had something like this. So if your target is 3 hours like me, I'll have closed around here. This is a very simple breaker block entry. And that's the current play. There's nothing else on this market for now. That's the current play. So let's go to AUD USD. As this thing slow today now. So this is the next one. And remember what I said, I've been saying over the past couple of weeks, AUD USD and AUD card usually moves the same way. Like they literally move the same way. You can see after that break, it came back inside. Then this one too. This another one, you can clearly see that it's also on an uptrend. And what did the market do? If you go to your 15 minutes, there's definitely something here that it came from. Exactly. Exactly. So this is what my system has been on for a while. So you pardon me. So this is the current play. This is the current play of the market. So if you are someone like me that targets 3 hours, so this is what I would be having. And I'm very sure it has already played out, as you can see. But if you are trying to continue in that movement on the lower time frame, you can clearly see that it also came back for this. If you are the kind that treats continuation, you'll have joined the continuation here. You'll have joined the continuation here. And you'll have had something like this. That's another three. That's another 3 hours. So within a few hours, you've already gotten 6 hours from this setup. You can go back and study it. Then the next one is card chef. I don't know why my system is slow today. I've been overworking it. Well, let's see. Why is it not able to? So for this now, you can clearly see that it consolidated for a while. It was moving sideways. Let me show you what I'm saying. Oh God. You can see that it was moving sideways before that breakout. And that was where the trend actually changed with an expansion. And whenever there's an expansion like this, most of the time, it usually just continues in that trend. And that was exactly what it did. Oh God, this thing is frustrating me. So what I feel the market is trying to do is coming for either of these 2 points of interest, either this or this. But most of the time, the market will still continue in that direction. So most likely still continue in that direction. So I expect this or this, I expect this or this to actually hold. But let's see which one the market decides to use. But most of the time, whenever there's an expansion to the downside, and it clearly shows that there's a trend after breaking multiple possible demand areas like this, the trend usually continues to the downside. So it usually pick, you can pick this or this, but I don't see it getting back here immediately. So you should either pick this point of interest or this point of interest. So that is where I'll be looking out for if peradventure I were to place a trade on this, but I don't trade catch F. So we are trading it. Be on the lookout for a possible rejection in either of these areas. Then you can go to your lower time frame and pick your entry. So the next one is JPY. So quick one, JPY pairs have actually been moving mad since like last week, especially all these card and co. You can see this was the last setup we had on card JPY after this one. So supposed to continue in an option, but now it has changed. It has clearly changed trend. You can clearly see that it has changed trend. So what you do is you mark out the shift and the break of structure. I don't know why my system is slow to do. Very strange. Not making me enjoy this session at all. Please mute your mic. We'll mute your mic. So this was the shift, and there's a break of structure here. And it has broken multiple. It came back for that area. Came back for this. But did he really pick it? It didn't. It was very close. So if I wanted to enter this trade, this is where I would have entered. But then I would have joined it after I saw this rejection and probably continued, because on the lower time frame, you most definitely see that continuation pattern. Let me see if I can show you, but let me mark this out first. And then it created a gap. This was a gap it created during the market's opening on Sunday. So it had to fill it. So it had to fill it first. So whenever you see something like this, most of the time, the market will always come back to fill it. So that should have been your motivation to even sell down towards this area. Once you see a gap like this and it goes up, 99% of the time, the market will always come back to fill it. That is one secret that I just gave you now. Whenever you see a gap on your charts like this, especially during the opening of the market, 99% of the time, the market will always come back to fill it, especially if it's picking an order from a point of interest. It will most definitely come back to fill it. So once you see that rejection, you just probably buy to that gap or sell to fill that gap. You definitely make profit. That one is another area separately. Oh God. I'll not let this stop me from having this session today. I don't like the way this thing is so. So the next one is Euro AUD. So as you can see now, it's clearly on the downtrend. If you zoom out. And like I always say, always zoom out, identify the trend before determining what you want to do. So if the trend is currently on a downtrend, you should naturally know that you should be looking for buys. So you should be looking for sales, because if you are looking for buys, you are trying to counter trend, which is quite risky. You get it's quite risky. And in this kind of situation also, it's quite risky to start looking for buys. For example, now, someone that was trying to buy in, it is always better to follow the trend than counter trending. So you counter trading rather. But someone that wanted to buy here when the market is clearly on a downtrend will have hit an SL here now. Do you understand? So always try to follow your trend. You get better, higher probability trades when you are following the trend and when you are trying to counter the trend. So that's one of the reasons why my win rate is quite high, because I try as much as possible to follow the trend. I don't do much of counter trading nowadays. I do more following the trend, because the trend is your friend. Always take note of that. So you really see me waiting to counter a trend when I can clearly get a sell opportunity. You can clearly see that this is selling, and it clearly came for this point of interest. It clearly came for it. So why stress yourself to be looking for what is not there? You can clearly see it's on a downtrend. My own is to just show you what to look out for. Clearly on a downtrend, that's picked this again and it sells. So it's as simple as that. Don't overcomplicate things. Look at this also. Just follow the trend and you'll be fine. You will be very, very fine. You'll be very, very fine. I see that's what it's using. Continuation. Continuation. So all these are points of interest. On lower time frame, you get your better entries. But I'm just using this to show you the importance of following the trend. If I was trading this market, I would have gotten at least 3, 4, 5, 6 opportunities on the lower time frame, just following the trend. So have your higher time frame bias, then go to your lower time frame, following that bias. It's as simple as that. Because I'm analyzing so many pairs, I can't be going very deep into the lower time frame because of time constraints. If you go to your 15 minutes or even 5, you see so many entry opportunities. You see so many. You can clearly see it. See, you see so many entry opportunities as long as you're following the trend. There's so much opportunities here. So many. to continue with 2, 3, 4, 5 RRCF. So that is that. Let me go to the next one. Mine is to just open your eyes to see the possibilities. I hate the way my system is slow. God. So as you zoom out now, you can clearly see that this is on an uptrend. So looking for buys, you are not counter trading. It is clearly, oh God. Anyway, I really need to restart this system. As another break of structure. Just keep it simple and you'll be fine. Just keep it simple. Then we created this eye that has not been broken. It only sweats liquidity. So if I was looking to buy, I'll be buying from here. I'll be looking to buy from here. I'll possibly see. But if this fails, then I'll most likely start looking for sales because it's a failed swing after that sweep of liquidity. So you can look for buys here because it's still in line with the trend. So before you say you want to start looking for sale, it is after this area has been broken. This is a very good buy area on the lower time frame. But I don't want to go too deep. You can see, even before I checked it, I knew that there was a valid order block there. The experience will teach you that. So, and it also created another positive movement there. So it even looks like it's using this safe. But the market is very, very dynamic, very, very, very dynamic. You can pick your entry in different ways. So this is also a valid way to pick your entry. This is a 2-hour setup. If you want more, you can extend it. But this looks very possible, though. It looks very possible. So those are different ways you can look at the market. So let me go back to my 1 hour. I know that we're on an option, so I shouldn't be looking for sales yet until this low is taken out. You should still be looking towards buy until this low is taken out. This area is still also quite valid. So quite valid. This might be broken and it might go up like this. Like I always say, the market is very dynamic, very, 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 very dynamic. So let's go to the next one, which is Euro GP. Wow, 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 wow. Crazy. You see the same thing I said about the market. I can see that I finally feel it. It didn't feel it yesterday. You can see it didn't feel it yesterday. Whenever the market creates a gap, it must always feel it. It is key. Go and check your charts. 100% of the time, it must always feel it. So even if it goes up like this, and you can see it must always find a point of interest to pick before going back towards that area. It must always find something to pick. And it has used that to fill the gap. And that's the current market play. That's the current market play. It was clearly on an uptrend, obviously, but it needed to fill that gap. It is a must. It must always fill it. It must always fill it. Now, if the market actually, if the candle now, if the 1 hour candle closes below this low, then that means there's a shift in the structure. Then you should now wait for a break of structure before trying to sell. This has to first of all close. Have your rules and regulation. This has to first of all close as a shift. Then you now wait for a break of structure to the downside before you start looking for sale. That is one thing that makes people lose their trade. Entering early. Always wait for proper confirmation and the structure to fully align. If not, you will be eating unnecessary stop loss. It reduces the amount of stop loss that you will eat. Stop losses are inevitable normally. But then when you follow structure and your trades are in alignment with the structure, it reduces the amount of losses that you lose. Do you understand that? Like in this scenario now, I already know that the market was on an option, clearly on an uptrend. This was the last area that created the break of structure. I don't need to mark it because I've trained my eyes to see it. This was the last area that created this break of structure and that eye. Now, if it closes below, there's a shift of market structure or change of character, some people call it. But you don't just trade change of character. You should also wait for a break of structure after the change of character. That is what makes the change of trend stronger and more valid. So if you are looking for sales after the break of structure, you are in alignment with what the market is doing. So the probability of you losing is lower. Do you understand? So that is that. Then this is just the current market play. I will be waiting now that it has broken this low, but it has not closed with a full body. I need to see the full body close first. Then I need it to create a break of structure for which means after it closes below, it needs to come back, then create a break of structure. Then I can now be ready to start looking for sale because now I can say, okay, the structure has now been broken. So I can now probably have a break of structure here. then I can now start looking for sell. So any sell you are looking for after that is much valid. And the reason why I said it has to close is because the market can still come back up, the candle can still close above, and it will continue the bullish movement. Remember, the overall trend is still bullish. So trying to sell, you are counter trading. You are counter trading, and that is just the bitter truth. So let's go to Euro USD quickly. This might, oh God, it's me that understand how frustrating this is. I need to restart the system, but after this session, I'll do that. You can't break the session. So clearly, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that Euro USD is clearly on an uptrend. It's clearly on an uptrend. And this is the breaker block here. This is the breaker block here, which is holding nicely. This is the breaker block. Clearly, you can clearly see it on the 1 hour. That's the breaker block for the current play. And that is what is currently playing out now. So before you can even say you want to start selling, before you can say you want to start selling, you need to wait for this low or this to be taken out. First of all, before you even say you want to do one quick sales cap or whatever, you need to see a clear shift or change of character before you decide to do anything. Because at the stance now, as long as this breaker block is holding, it might still continue buying to the upside. Mine is to just give you insights. Then the rest is left to you to go to your chart and observe. And that's what I'll be doing now. This is just for educational purposes. And if you are using your lower time frame, there will definitely be something here. I'm very sure there will be something here on the lower time frame to signify a buy, which it has already peaked. And your target should be here, objective target. And that's 2 point something R, which is still okay, considering how crazy the market condition is. But if you go to your lower time frame, you might see something better. Exactly, you might see something better. So it can be lower like this. Then you have 4 hour if you're using lower time frame for this entry. So this is it here. That's that valid 15 minutes order block. And this is a 4 hour setup. So lower time frame, you can use it to increase your risk to reward ratio, and you'll be fine. And with this movement now, you should most likely get it. It's still in alignment with the trend. So if it fails, you learn. That's just the way trading is. It is not complicated at all. So that is that. Let's go to GG. You see the same thing I said. It will always fill the gap. You see that it has filled it now. But it was on an uptrend. So you can't decide anything yet until you get a full close. And this is the low that has to be taken out before you say with a full body, before you start looking for anything sales. And remember, there's also a liquidity sweep here, which created another high. Oh God. There's another liquidity sweep here that created that high. But let's see what the market decides to do. This is a valid area for a buy, though. If at all, I wanted to buy. Though it is quite risky based on this momentum. It is very, very risky. But then looking at the overall trend, it is very valid. You can see it came back for this. Clearly came back for this. And there was inducement. So this is the normal setup that most people know. This is the normal setup that most people know, which has already played out. Let me see. So the targets, that's how many are, that's 5.5. This is what has already played out, as you can see, because it is in alignment with the trend. And why did this play out? Because there was a mini uptrend here, came back for it, created inducement, and came for that sponsor candle, the other block, and went straight to the target. This one is the textbook entry model, very normal entry model. And this is still valid, still very valid. As you can see, it has rejected there, but let's see what the market decides to do. And there's also an inducement for it. So if you zoom in, you can clearly see this inducement for this other block. And it has rejected. So I have 10 minutes left. Will I be able to do the rest? Let's see. So that's the current play for GJ. I'm definitely not doing another session. So this is also, okay, let's see. There was a break now. Clearly on an uptrend. Oof. This thing will not allow me finish all the pairs. So that's, so that was the last, then this is the last group. Let's see. clearly on an uptrend too. So normally you should be looking for buys. You should be looking more towards buys than sell. And where are the possible areas? This is one. This is another one, which is still in alignment with the breaker block. But let's see what the market decides to do. But definitely, I'll be looking more towards buys than sells because it is in alignment with the overall trend. The trading with the trend is the safest and the simplest way to look at the market. It is usually very straightforward. Just figure out the trend first of all. The rest becomes easier. I'm not sure we will get to gold with the way this system is so clearly on a downtrend. And what that means is that you should be looking towards it. This one clearly played out. This was our last setup from last week. We did 6 RR. That's just what I wanted to show. Then it came back for the breaker block. And it is still running. And it is still running. It came back for the breaker block. Nicely. Trading is sweet. You see the importance of trading. Please, oh God, this thing is frustrating me. You see the importance of trading with the trend. Now it came back for the breaker block nicely, and that would have been another nice, clean setup. I just have my comment. So if you are targeting 3 RR, you'll have gotten it easy. Trading with the trend, very important. Very, 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 very simple and important. It's not supposed to be complicated at all. And that's the current play. Then the next one is UG. This one I've not decided what he wants to do yet, whether he wants to buy or sell. But there's really nothing for me here. He did this, came back for this, and sold to the targets. Oh God. He came back for this. Oh, fuck. Mm. He came back for this, and he sold back to this target. And because the overall trend was bullish, oh God. You see what he did? Because he broke here, he came back for this area and he sold. Do you understand now? God, God, God. This is frustrating me. Let me just get to the last one. So, like I said on the group, I think it was yesterday, whenever gold has created an all-time high and the overall bias is bullish, just be looking for buy opportunities. Just be looking for buys. Before it starts selling, just be looking for buys. You can clearly see one thing about gold is that historically, whenever it is around an uptrend and it start moving, just go with it. There's nothing extremely technical about it at that point in time. It is majorly fundamentals that is pushing. You can clearly see. Just be buying. But make sure you're buying with sense and not just following blindly. If you check my setup on the group on gold, you will see it yesterday, last week, same thing. You just need to align with the trend and find good entries for your setup. And it majorly uses breaker blocks. Whenever the market is moving like this, it majorly uses breaker blocks. Most of the time, it makes use of breaker blocks. And sometimes some valid order blocks. So you can see something like this now. It's making use of the breaker block. Made use of the breaker block, created another high before breaking out. So let me show you. Now clearly see, made use of the breaker block, created another high before selling. But any trade, anything that has to do with sell during this period is very risky. You shouldn't be looking for sales at all. Just wait for technicals to align, then you buy. Look at this breaker block now. So you get so, but don't look for sales for now. Just chill and keep buying until the market clearly shows you that it wants to sell. And for it to start selling, you will most likely see it clearly on the 1 hour. Don't go and start selling because you are seeing shifts for change of character on 15 minutes or 5 minutes. We'll just do giveaway for the market. See this one now. You can see that on the 15 minutes, it's giving like as if it has sold already. I think it came to pick it fully. So it did see. It did pick it. Let me see. Yeah, it tapped it. Like, as it stands now, it will most likely create another all-time high that speaks from that other block and is buying clearly on an option. So always, whenever gold is like this, just keep buying, but you won't clearly see it on the higher time frame, you most likely be seeing your entries on the lower time frame most of the time. But whenever he wants to shift and start selling, you start seeing it on the 1 hour, then you now see it on the 4 hours clearly, then it will enter daily. And that is that. It will now start selling properly. Let me check the chart. So hope you've learned now. You have to, for the person asking GD Global, you have to go to all the previous sessions that I've done. I used to talk about breaker blocks and other blocks very well. And try not to miss the next set of sessions also. You keep learning, we learn every day. So that is that. That'll be all for now. The recorded version will be dropped on our YouTube channel before noon. And you can go back to watch, study, and learn on your chat. So that'll be all for now. Enjoy the rest of your day. My time is up. So if you'd like to learn from me or want me to mentor you, I only have 4 variants of my one-on-one private mentorships, as you can see on the screen. If you have any inquiry, you can send me a DM via the Linktree link in the description, and you can also read more about each mentorship program via the Linktree link too. Thank you.
I only trade with 10 Trade. You should too. Check the description in this video for more info.
Here, these are some of the exclusive benefits you get from me when you sign up with 10 Trade through my link and get any of the instant live funded accounts or the Express Challenge accounts. Send me a DM for any inquiry. 10 Trade has the fastest withdrawal in the industry, and they've been around since 2017, and they have trader friendly rules, and they want their traders to succeed. They have the best customer service in the industry too, and they are giving a personal account manager once you sign up. A trial will convince you and you are in safe hands. Don't forget to click the Linktree link in the description for any inquiry.
Follow me for more educative contents like this.